Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Dennis Timmerman. I'm one of the hosts of KettleBar Podcast, and I'm the one who gets all the audio and video for the podcast. So last week, I started the video, I had it running. We sat around talking for a few minutes before the podcast actually started. We started and we went for about 50 minutes or so, and it turns out that the video stopped before we even started the intro for the podcast. So I have nothing for video, but I do have everything on audio. I thought Nick and Travis did a really, really great job with this one, and I wanted to get it out there. So I just needed some kind of video to put uh, underneath the audio so I could post it up to YouTube for you guys to see and listen to. And so what I did was I just set up uh, a camera and set up for the podcast that we recorded this last week with Jason Steinberg, and just kind of put that on a loop and played that a few times while the podcast was running. So I apologize that I don't have video for the this last episode, but Nick and Travis really went to town, and I thought they did a great job and wanted to get it out to you guys. So here it is. The audio's good. The video is just something to get us onto YouTube, basically. So enjoy.
Trippy, trippy.
Are we going or what?
We're going.
Yeah.
KettleBar Podcast. Ooh, damn, hold on. Ouch. KettleBar Podcast number 4. Put down the cookie.
Put it down.
Yeah, all right. So, we're talking about, what exactly are we talking about? You guys had a conversation that I was not a part of on this the other day. So you have a little bit of background here, right? No?
Oh,
You guys
no,
you guys already
unfortunately, I was just making fun of an overweight child. Unfortunately, that was the only conversation we had. And I was talking about how mad I was about it. That was
Gotcha,
like the
gotcha.
main conversation.
Yeah, which, kind of, we could make a broader topic about it, like with just youth and health.
Yeah.
Where's our youth at right now? All the way
I would
from,
say not so good.
yeah,
Yeah. This was, context here, this was a, under 2-year-old child. Couldn't walk.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like a sumo wrestler, baby.
which is kind of cool, but also not cool at the same
Right.
time.
Right.
But like a normal Caucasian sumo, baby.
Like, if you had another baby like that, like, put them together, let them duke it out, it might be interesting to watch for a minute.
I don't know if they could even hit each other, though.
Well, see, then
He
They can't propel
he
themselves
scooted
forward.
with his 1 foot forward, just like one leg sitting in like half Indian style,
yeah,
like scooching, and oh man, I mean, eyes were squinting because there was so much like face chubbiness.
right.
I mean, it was bad. It was bad. But and what I was telling Travis was, I feel obligated to go like, hey, do you just have like no idea about nutrition? Is there something like ask me a question maybe? I don't know, like can I help you in any way?
Are you working on this
Right,
proactively?
Because that kid is gonna struggle the rest of his life.
Right, right.
I mean,
And that's where, we had this kind of conversation of, we should be responsible, for our habits that our kids are, developing.
Totally.
You
Yeah.
can't, expect a 1-year-old to know that it's supposed to eat, this and this and this. You're
right. Most
and
adults don't even understand, and then we expect a child.
Right.
You have to guide that. You're taking care of that child.
Right.
I mean, of course, if you give anything a cookie, it's gonna eat a cookie. I mean, that shit's
Totally.
good.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
giving me a cookie, I'm eating a damn cookie.
Exactly.
So if you start out that way, and then as you get older,
Yeah.
have fun.
Set up those habits
Yeah.
early. Yeah.
because it's making it hard. I think you can see it. Childhood like diabetes and everything like that is on the rise, which there should be no reason why those things are increasing.
Right. We're at our most advanced level ever, like in the medical field, the science filled, everything.
Yeah, and it's not
And we're going
it's not an
downhill.
issue of.
That's a damn problem right there.
I don't think it's an
Right.
issue where it's like it's this crazy extensive idea to like your kid only needs like this much food. Like it's not like a hard concept to grasp. Like you just don't need to have them eat a whole box of Oreos,
Right. Right.
and then Doritos and then Coke, while they're playing video games,
Totally. Yep.
So that's where it's like you got to put some sort of, and it's hard for us, as outsiders to tell it like a person, hey, change how you are kind of teaching your kid,
Raising your
right?
kid, yeah.
But
It's a touchy subject.
yeah, but it's something that I think really needs to be addressed, and I really don't know where you would begin
Right.
with that.
Yeah, because it's like now it's like instead of life expectancy going up every generation, now it's going down. So we're back on the downward trend of like kids not living as long as their parents.
Right.
Like
Yeah, it's the first time
overall or whatever.
that's flipped.
Yeah, yeah. So like, and a lot of it, like you said, the problem is all the scientific foods that are designed to get people addicted. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I would say, and everything's so much more calorie dense and less activity. I mean, science all around. I mean, I love science, but
Right.
and technology, but between the foods and then, like you said, playing video
a little
games,
bit closer on that.
playing video games.
Oh, yeah.
That's crispy.
Yeah, it's just a mixture of not doing a damn thing, being lazy, and then eating a shit ton of food they don't need to be. I mean, do you really need to fuel yourself with all that shit to sit in front of a TV and twiddle your fucking thumbs?
Right.
I mean, that's too where I was kind of going with it. Is it's not this big jump that the difference needs to be made. It's a small change for these parents and kids to make, and it's going to make a lifelong change for them. So it's not this where they're going from, again, eating primarily junk food, nothing really nutritional, and then they're going to on the other side of the spectrum where they're working out 7 times a week and eating only greens and lean meats or whatever.
Right.
It's not like that. It's,
Balance.
hey, how about instead of, again, a full box of Oreos, you can have 5.
Yeah, portion control that shit.
Right.
That's
Same thing with adults.
you know.
That's all it takes is don't eat like an asshole all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like to eat like an asshole though.
Me too.
It sucks. I always feel like shit though.
And again, it's a very touchy subject because I mean I would say it's something too that I think people ingrain in their brains where if I'm as an adult, if I'm fat, well, my genes are what's causing my kid to be obese. It has nothing to do with the diet. They're already going to be fat. It's just because we're big boned or this is
Runs in the family.
This runs in the family.
Yeah.
Which no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, actually, in a way, yes. It is genetic, but it's because all of the bullshit that they're eating is switching on all those fucked up genes that's causing that.
Right.
So it's because of the lifestyle. It's not because of their ancestry.
So this little fat baby I saw, parents weren't fat. Like, I mean, they just looked a little overweight.
Like average, maybe.
Yeah, but this baby was
Right.
like already obese.
But yeah, to kind of go like with the gene thing, it's like yes, they might be predisposed, but they still have to open that door.
You could influence that stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just
So-
the same way you can do it with eating healthier, and I mean, yeah,
And you could do it as an adult too. You could switch things up and reverse things, but yeah, setting them up from a young age so it's just natural,
But yeah, just because if your mom's super obese and your dad's, that child still has a chance at not being obese.
Yes, totally.
But generally, they're gonna grow up in a household where they're eating like shit.
They're eating like the
overeating.
parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And even, I mean, some people who eat junk food and garbage all the time are still skinny.
Mhm.
They don't look unhealthy.
Right. But then again, there is a lot of it comes down to kind of the numbers there. I mean, they're not eating enough quantity wise. I mean, they're still eating, the bad stuff, but again, they're not eating in excess where their body's in a gaining state.
Like a huge calorie surplus.
Right. Where it's really easy for, adults to kind of get on this like nasty downhill spiral where, the body's clicking on and producing these hormones where it's like saying, hey, I want more of what you just gave me.
Yeah.
And now that you've had that much, I want more than that. I want more than that. And then day by day, it just keeps on slowly increasing and you don't even know it. And you've gained 50 pounds, 100 pounds, just like that.
Yeah. People say it happened overnight.
Yeah. And it's, and that's something too. It's like where, we only think about it as adults. I'm like, okay, I need to make this change. But it now, starts when you're born,
Mm-hmm.
You need to get everything to work right from when you start. That's the best blank slate that you have.
Totally.
So, I think again, it's a very touchy subject. I'm not saying that like anybody's like doing necessarily that they're purposefully trying to sabotage their kid's life and make them fat. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I'm trying to say you have the responsibility to do better if it's available.
Right.
And it is.
You got to make the right choice.
So
instead of leaving it up to the kid.
Where it is available is, we have, especially if you have any quality trainers around you, which we do. There's a surplus of them. We have plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Go talk to them. Pick their brains. What can I do? And if they don't know, hopefully that trainer is a good enough trainer where they will point you in the direction where you need to go.
Right.
And
hopefully they could give you one small little step to just kind of get you started.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's all it takes, just that one little thing to get started.
Yep. Instead of, going on that downhill spiral, now we're kind of going back in an upward trend, which is going to be, again, it's hard. But again, it's just as hard to, live your life in that state. Still,
it's worth it. Hard, but worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Though, I mean, sumo babies are kind of cool. I mean, for a little bit. For a day.
I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't even comfortable looking at the baby because I felt bad.
Right.
And you never know, that baby could have something wrong with them.
Right.
A gland problem or whatever.
Yeah, I might have peeked over a few times and saw that baby snacking on some stuff, so I'm going to take the whole
go with that.
gland issue out of there.
Yeah, I believe it.
But, the goal is just to, we got to, everything's really kind of comes back to like habits and what you do on a daily basis, not on a single day basis. It's got to be every day, and you got to try to get, kids to change their behavior sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because later is going to be they're in college. Later is going to be their mid 30s. Later is going to be they're 60 and they're on their deathbed.
Yeah.
Right.
Which keeps going like that. Yeah.
It's always tomorrow. Always going to start tomorrow or Monday.
Yeah. The sad thing is a lot of those parents don't actually know either, unfortunately.
Right.
I mean, some of the questions I get are like don't call me and ask me if you can have a Twinkie. Because you can, but you're going to have to watch the rest of the stuff you get.
Yeah. You got to make up for it.
But really...
And I think
don't eat a fucking Twinkie.
I think with that, there's two. I think people know, deep down, that they're not having, clearly a Twinkie over a salad, right? Let's say one's gonna be, better for you than the other. In normal terms, over in some third world country where you need some calories, sure, Twinkie's gonna be the way to go.
Right.
But in normal terms, in the United States, we don't really have that issue.
My main response, I just text back, "You already know the answer."
Yeah. And they really do.
Never hear anything else after that.
I think people are looking for that, that okay,
permission.
Permission to do it, and so that it's not on them, so they don't have this guilty feeling of doing it, which, it sucks that they have to feel that way. So,
Right.
Right.
Or I get a lot too, like, I know I shouldn't have done this, but I ordered 2 pizzas last night, so I'll have leftovers for tomorrow. It's like, shouldn't have ordered 1 to have for supper tonight, but now you ordered extra. But you're starting it off with telling me, I know I shouldn't have done this.
Right.
So why'd you do it? I don't know.
I could probably tell you why you did. No, yeah, and then shit, you get back to kids just not being active either. They're taking jump roping out of gym class. They're taking dodgeball out of gym class. There's no more playtime. Sitting in front of computer games, tablets. You don't even have to stand up to change the channel anymore. You just don't have to be that active anymore.
Right.
Your body is sitting in rest a lot.
Right.
And then they're wondering why kids are sitting in school freaking out. Well, we'll put them on Ritalin. It's like, let these damn kids play, get some energy out of them.
Yeah, I work with a lot of youth, and for me, it's a lot different than when I grew up, and that's not even that long ago. Like, so.
Which was way different than when we grew up.
Right.
Which was kind of a long time ago,
But it's, if you're not playing Fortnite, you're almost an outcast as a kid.
Right.
And that's,
I still don't know what that is.
It's just a game.
It's a video game,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
the time suck.
But yeah, that is the thing. I went out looking at Halloween costumes, and I was standing there for a while trying to figure out what the hell these costumes were, and they were Fortnite costumes.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck is this?
And it's, it comes down to activity too. But I would say, like, the biggest change that, let's say, if there's any parents listening and they want to make a change is, one, if you're unsure, talk to somebody that, has a little bit more knowledge on, nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
2, use your common sense.
Hint, wink, wink.
Clearly, again, where there's limits on how much, junk food a child should have. And
right.
It's okay to say, hey, you don't get this.
Be the adult. Yep.
I think that's the next step. And then other than that, it can grow from there.
Mm.
But you got to take, again, that first step to, progress.
Totally agree. And this hits close to home for me because I got a 4 and a 7-year-old that don't want to eat vegetables. They don't want to eat anything but that bullshit. And so it drives me crazy. And I know about this stuff, but it's still like a big struggle. It's always something we're always trying to work on.
It's because you're being a pussy about it.
Maybe a little bit. They're girls, man. They're so damn sensitive.
I don't know. I was kind of a prick to my daughter when she was growing up with it. So
how did she eat when she was growing up?
She ate good.
Pretty good.
She eats like shit now. She ate good when she was younger.
Mm.
Like she'd eat jalapenos. Like,
be willing to try stuff.
Yeah. And
that's what I struggle with, is getting to try stuff.
I think too, it's a group think, so since like I would say majority of, parents and kids are like eating this way,
mm-hmm.
that's what people think is like acceptable and it's right. And it doesn't matter, after that, the repercussions from it are just accepted.
It becomes part of the culture.
Right.
Right.
And, if you don't do that, then again, you are an outlier. If you don't play Fortnite, you're, this, like weird kid that, doesn't do it. You bring home,
Fortnite,
you bring a nutritional meal to school, you're that weird kid, which is like mind blowing,
Bullshit.
So, and nobody wants to feel that way, especially as a kid.
Right.
You got all these. You just want a place to fit in. You don't want to like be this world changer, right? So it's hard for kids to know that what they're doing is setting them up for later success, because they're kind of thinking in the now.
Yeah, they can't see that far into the future.
But once they get into the future, then they can look back,
mm-hmm.
and they would have wished that they would have probably done something different.
For sure.
But we gotta change it, not where they're thinking that this is okay, I need to set up meal prep. Like a kid shouldn't need to meal prep, you know?
Right.
But
Kids shouldn't have to worry about that stuff.
Right.
They shouldn't have to think about it.
right.
You
But
know?
they should feel, accepted with what they do, if
And I
food
think
wise, especially nutrition wise.
including them, like having them make choices, like, or having them help meal prep or prepare meals, one by one or whatever.
Yeah.
But like they want to help. They want to do something. They want to have a hand in it. So if you can get them to like make a decision between two healthy items, they feel like they have control, and that like gives them power, which is what kids are looking. I mean, it's all a big power struggle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're looking for as much power as they can. So if you give them two healthy options, they think they have control, but they're still, either way, they're getting set up for success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think another thing, like rewarding with food could set people up too, to kind of fuck them up.
Yeah.
Because when you see that sweet treat as a reward, like the way our brains work, we're like wired to look for that reward.
Mm-hmm.
So as they get older, they're going to see that reward as being the thing, and they're going to go back to it more and more. And,
Yeah. So it's that extrinsic kind of value stuff instead of intrinsically of like, I'm doing this, for me, instead of like, I'm doing this to get something.
right.
And that's like, could go with anything in life. So, you could set really good habits mentally, physically through just a simple thing as nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful, and they're doing it every single day.
Right.
So, there's not a lot of things that we do that is that consistent
Mm-hmm.
Well,
to set up good behavior.
yeah. And if you really think about it, I mean, I do like food and everything. Shit tastes good and all that, but people, fuck, man. It's just to fuel your body to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Stop, well, I like food. I'm a foodie. Like, really, when it comes down to it, the only reason you need food is to fuel your body. So, if you look at all this shit, I don't want to fuel it on a bunch of nasty shit.
Right.
But it does taste good, so I eat it. That's what I'm saying. I am being hypocritical here.
You are what you eat, though.
But it's just energy. So, fuck.
And information, though, too. It's information for your fucking cells, for your DNA. You know
Right.
what I mean? So, I mean, yes, it is. Like, just the biggest thing is calories in, calories out. You know what I mean? But it's also information. So if you're eating by macros, you watch the Joe Rogan, Lane Norton
Yeah.
debate or whatever it was. Pretty civil.
Yeah.
But they're just like basically talking about the biggest thing is calories in, calories out. But to optimize shit, what you eat matters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you're being really hypocritical when you're saying like the food is fuel. I think deep down, like that's your biggest rock and truth that that is true. But you also live your life and are okay with stepping out of bounds, but coming back to your home.
Right.
That truth that always like food is honestly just my fuel. But if I want this, I can go there and come back.
You don't spiral out of control.
Instead of living, again without that home rock. Let's just put it, a little,
that foundation.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I think everybody has that. They know again that. I mean, I would say majority of people know that this is, you are eating food so that you can survive and stuff like that. But I think where we get a little bit out of control is that we think, since this other, this cheesecake is right here and this pizza is right here and this right here, I can just step out, and get it and keep moving and grabbing it. Right. And just doing it too much where you need to spend more time at home. That home rock, that foundation, you need to be there longer, set your lifestyle there, and then every once in a while go out and get that stuff.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
Trying to put a little visualization of like, again, how you think. It's going to be huge because, like, again, there's nothing wrong with having pizza. It's just, but if you're having again, 2 large pizzas to yourself
Right.
a night.
Or you're doing it every week, or
Yeah, and it's like
twice a week, or whatever.
It's like you know that that's not gonna be the way for you to, and that's not home. That's not home.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm much nicer when I talk to clients about diets, but like sitting here right now, I can't fucking stand when people, oh, I haven't had ice cream, and who gives a fuck?
Right.
It's fucking ice cream. Like, I'm sorry, but man the fuck up. It's fucking ice cream.
It's
Chill
awesome.
out.
I love
There's
ice cream.
There's a ton of other
but-
shit you're still eating.
Right.
But people get so caught up on, it's like, shit, at one point, we never had any of that?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
imagine
yeah.
that. It's like, calm the fuck down. We have all this stuff you can eat.
But now you
It
can get
tastes
like
great.
healthy ice cream,
Right.
which is.
It doesn't taste like
It's-
real ice cream, but it tastes good.
But you're you're not really changing any habits with that.
you're not. No,
Right,
So
and it's
that's
actually
the problem with that
yeah,
stuff.
I
You're
think
just-
I think that stuff honestly, kind of just adds fuel to the fire.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
you're thinking that it's okay, so I'm not now, instead of eating, knowing that I should only eat this once, like in a week. Now it's okay that I eat it
Every
three
day.
Right,
three nights a week,
I'm
4
gonna eat
times
that
a
whole
week.
fucking pint at one time.
You know,
And that's like, protein bars. Tell somebody they need to get more protein in their diet. So they go to a gas station. They get a protein bar. And what is it?
400
yeah,
calories.
400 calories.
A candy bar with protein added to
Right.
it. Is literally all it is. Not all of them.
Yeah,
I'd say
but,
most.
like,
most. Yeah.
most, and for the average person going in, that's what they're going to gravitate to. The
Yeah.
chocolate peanut butter crunch.
Yeah.
Not the,
That's the one I get.
Yeah.
So yeah, like all the convenient health foods are kind of fucking things up because they're not fixing any habits. They're not changing the trend. You're just
Yeah, just
You
keeping
know.
that cycle going.
right.
Yep.
Right.
Right, and I think that that debate you were talking about between them, that's the same kind of thing. It's like, yeah, you can have all that kind of shit, but you want to talk about people just even knowing what to eat and what's good. And this, I mean, most people don't know that, and now you expect them to understand how to figure their macros out and get that and concentrate. Fuck, they're not gonna do that. Even when they get their little fucking apps out and shit like that. I mean, I've gone over with clients and let me see the app. I look at it and I'm like, no way, that's all you ate. Oh, well, I mean, I'm like, yeah, you got to put that in too if you're going off those numbers and that.
Everything you eat
Right, yeah. So
goes
it's just
in there. Yeah.
so to do that and go out and yeah, I mean, you're putting it's very simple, but it can get complicated. So I just think if you don't eat a bunch of that shit, you don't have to like being vegan. You're eating a shit ton of food all the time, but you're not overdoing it on the calories.
Yeah, I mean,
So you get
It's
a lot
hard
of
to.
food.
if you want to eat a lot of food and
Right.
stay under on calories,
And
I would say go vegan because it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, but
So.
it's stuff like that. If you just, and I know people get pissed off about the clean eating. I eat clean. What the hell is clean eating? To me, if I use that term or anything, I'm talking about eating whole foods, fruits, vegetables, not eating junk food.
Unprocessed.
Or food.
Or minimally processed.
Yeah. I mean, or just I try not to eat a lot of food that doesn't give me something. If it doesn't have fiber, if it doesn't have protein, if it doesn't have fat, if it doesn't have, I try not to eat it. If it's just like a carb-laden snack and doesn't give me anything else, unless I'm running or working out or doing something I need those carbs for, I go for something else.
Yeah.
That's what I call junk food. That just wasted, empty carbs.
And then most people will eat way more than they actually need. They'll way overdo it there. Well, I'm fueling myself for this. Well, you don't need as
Right, like Gatorade and sports drinks. Yeah, chill the
Yeah.
hell out with
You
those. You're
don't
not
need-
working that hard.
most likely don't need all that stuff.
Yeah,
for a
but I think
workout and-
with kind of what you were touching on there, I mean, everything that you were talking about, I think within the first 10 seconds talking to a person who's kind of been resistant to a diet change, they're tuned out.
That's
It's literally, it's done. You just said carbohydrates and they just
right.
turned off. They're looking at you, but nothing's really being recepted. So that's where you don't need to make, again, this huge switch from this is where you're at and now I need to be an Olympic athlete.
Right.
You need to go from this is where I'm at and I'm going to make this tiny, tiny change, which is, again, I don't need a whole bag of Doritos.
Yeah.
I can portion it out.
Yeah.
You know, just you can still have everything that you're eating out. Just make that one change. You know, and then it's going to be a slow process, but it will. There's nothing you can really do about that process. It's always going to be slow. And
the pop one is the one I usually go with, just because the majority of the clients I train, I'm like, you drink pop? Yeah. Like, how many? Oh, usually 2 to 3 a day. I'm like, okay, let's just start with going with 1 a day, and then just slowly work that out. Down.
It still blows me away. Like, why in the fuck are people still drinking soda?
Oh yeah, like lots too.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean,
like,
yeah.
And like, I mean, with a client or anybody that has any nutritional advice, I don't think I've ever put anybody on a diet plan or a template or anything like that right away. I've always had them run through a lifestyle change before I've ever put them on this is how many macros you're going to have. This is your timing. This is the kind of food, all this stuff. It's more of a lifestyle change of, we got to figure out why you are the way you are and how we can, again, flip it, turn it to something where it's positive instead of negative. And then once you kind of get that down, then we can start talking about the numbers. But, and that really bothers people. I'm not gonna lie.
They want that.
They want it to go.
They want to be told exactly what they need right now.
And but I'm not doing them any service by doing that. They need to rewire how they think about how they live every single day and what they put in their body. And it's just like a car. Like, you got to put the right fuel in.
Right.
You're not gonna go put some diesel in your in your car if you don't have a diesel motor. That's just, you got to put the right stuff in there.
And right off the bat, like, hardly anybody could stick to a strict diet plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I can't.
Yeah, I can't either.
Unless you have that goal where you are getting ready for a show, a competition, for some reason you have to get down to a certain weight. But 99% of people don't they're not athletes, right? You're just, again, trying to be the best version of yourself. And so why make it harder than it has to be?
Right. Yeah.
I try to do the least amount to get the most out of it.
That 80-20 principle. Yeah.
Because
it's huge.
Like you say, okay, so if I get a new client, we're doing this, we're working out 4 times a week. Shit, 3 months in, where do you go from there?
Right.
Now you've exhausted everything, and so why not start here, get that going, jump it up, keep it going,
and we could talk about that for a long time, because
exactly.
You don't want to exhaust all your options at the first get-go, because you're going to get into, again, 2 months down the road, and, well, what do we do now? So
we're going to drop you to 900 calories.
Yeah, it's
right.
And if you have one of those coaches, just fucking turn and run away.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta create that story before you can do anything else. That's what it all is. Like, food especially is like the culture. It's like everything. Like you said, it's the most frequent thing we do.
Except for breathe.
I mean,
we breathe a lot.
But as far as like working out, like, people think, well, I'm crushing it in the gym, but I'm not seeing any results. But it's like that meme you pulled up earlier. I have my trainer to blame, but I'm eating cookies and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So like, I don't even want people to change anything when they first start working out with me. I want them to, like, let's look and see what you're doing. Let's create the story around what you're doing, and like you said, just make that one small little change. If you change everything at once,
and it's a
damn it, Sai.
it's a mental challenge. It's really not. It's not a struggle with actually doing the thing. It's a mental, like, struggle where you've got to get the understanding of, you got to be your own boss. Like, you got to say, this is why I'm doing it, and not having to call your trainer and seeing if the Twinkie, kind of going back to that, like, is the Twinkie okay? You already know the Twinkie's not okay. You have to tell yourself this is, that it's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be there to tell yourself that in your head.
Take responsibility for your own stuff.
Which I think it's really easy for people to, pass it off with, any the smallest excuses. My work life, I'm stressed. Again, you go back to genes is a reason why things are the way they are. Just all these different factors, which is easy to just push it off, and that's the reason why. When actually the reason why is because you just didn't say no.
Right. Like, blaming everything else except for yourself.
Just be like, hey, I don't need that. I just you got to take that responsibility, and I think that's really, I think the drive home message for me today is and it kind of again goes to adults, it goes to kids, especially I think again that it's a huge responsibility because they can't quite do that yet.
Yeah, they don't know what's best for them. Yeah, they just know what tastes good.
Like a kid can't make that decision. There might be some out there that really like understand, that this is a better thing than others. But at the end of the day, they are kids and want to just have fun and learn, experience life, and be accepted and all this stuff. So you have to, as an adult, guide them on the right path. And even if you aren't in, the right shape, you can't be again predisposing or pushing your mentality on your kid just because you are in a place that you don't want to be. Right. You gotta guide them on the right way, and it might be completely different than what you are, but it's a great time to make that switch. If you want your kid to be healthy later on in life, get on a different path, and it all starts with your mental attitude and how you are gonna take responsibility to do it.
The language that you use around that stuff. So if they always hear their mom saying, "Oh, I look so fat in these clothes" or whatever, like it's gonna fuck them up. They're gonna they're gonna take that in. It's gonna shape the way they look at things in a negative way.
I mean, like, and you kind of brought up a whole another rabbit hole that we could go down to is just again the body image, right? And we see all these things, and this is another excuse that I've heard is just people, they give up quicker because they see that on these magazines, on this Instagram, that this is how the ideal woman or man is supposed to look, which it's like, one, that person has been dedicating every ounce into that, plus plus Photoshop, which is like insane, so I think that's an easy for them to be like, well, I'm never gonna get there just like that, and they quit, which you don't need to be there. Right. Like that's not that doesn't need to be the goal. The goal should be
trying to be on a cover of a magazine.
The goal should just be, hey, I'm a better version today than I was yesterday, and that's what you should really strive for. Which is hard, and it's hard to keep on doing on a daily basis. But let's pick something easy that you can do, which is nutrition. It's really easy. Instead of again a slice of pizza, pick up an apple.
Right.
That one decision you just made right there. Just made your day better than what it was yesterday, and again, we can do that again tomorrow.
Momentum.
Yeah. And I'll just put this out there because I tend to forget to tell people, but anyone that trains with me, fuck scales. Stay the fuck off the scale. Don't pay attention to that thing.
Yeah.
This first month in, about everyone I have, I haven't lost any weight. I'm like,
or they gain a few pounds, right?
I'm like,
right
I'm like, okay, but you're down. You just brought in that belt and showed me you're down in size. I know, but the scale hasn't changed. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what the scale says. Too many people get caught up in that. Well, I'm a girl, I should weigh 120 pounds. I'm like, you're 5'10".
Right.
It's like, no. My daughter, 14 years old, she's like 115 pounds, thinks she's fat. I'm like, fuck no. You should be like 115 to 120. Like, you probably put on some weight, But she's so caught up.
Too.
Right. She's so caught up in it. Her age. Well, the other girls are 110 pounds. I'm like, yeah, and you could beat the shit out of the other girls.
What's their vertical?
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
and that comes down to like what you want your life to be.
Yeah. It's society's put a lot of crazy images in people's minds, and
oh yeah, I think honestly, I would love to do an episode on image.
Yeah.
That would be I don't know if the audience
KettleBar podcast next. Oh shit, we got Jason next week. We have to do a twofer next week.
Twofer.
something like that. But again, there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of misconception with what's actually real, and I think it needs to be addressed. And I think that a lot more people are addressing it. But let's hop on that wagon and keep pushing towards what's actual real and what's not, because there's too much fake stuff out there.
Don't compare yourself to Hollywood or even social media. All that stuff's exactly what people want you to see and nothing else. You know what I mean?
Fake news.
Fake news.
We talked about this on our podcast yesterday, House of Timmerman podcast. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
You shameless prick.
I know.
We're trying to do work here.
I know. Sliding it in there. It was like, what I post on social media is the cool stuff, like the heavy sled drags or like the fun stuff. I'm not posting the boring stuff that nobody really wants to watch. You know what I mean? And so what you're seeing on social media is like a very small fraction of the story. Like,
yeah, and a lot of people's, it's not even actually part of their story. I know a lot of people they'll set up a camera, and I feel like I've done this a few times. Just you set up a camera just to capture a moment that you want to influence on people, right? And it wasn't even part of your day, like that. That's not that you were actually doing this exercise or this thing at home or whatever, but you wanted to again try to make a post, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that, and especially with chicks' butts. Like that's what does that have to do with with real life? God. They're looking off into the horizon, and that's that. If
I was a chick, I'd have 1 million followers.
We could still do that. We could still do that.
Every time I get the camera out, he's always poking his ass out here and there.
I mean, honestly,
he's trying to put it in there.
You think you need to be a lady, but you don't. You just
I put out. You can look at my Instagram. I got a couple ones where I was messing around doing that. I told Bella if I catch her doing that shit, I'm gonna be in a G-string copying and doing all that.
There you go.
No, I did that. I tell you what. So
if anybody wants to have Nick start up his Instagram account where he's doing more posts like that.
So you can see it. So I did fuck around with that like a year ago or something like that on Wednesdays. I was putting up a booty one in my underwear. Dude, they got more likes than anything I've put on there. I'm like, this is so
Sex
bullshit.
sells?
Yeah.
They were just dumb. I just got my underwear and did like a fire hydrant. Some rose sticking my butt, because I'm looking through Instagram and that's all it is these chicks that are like, and a lot of them have like really inspiring shit they're writing, but then I look at the picture and I'm like, what the only reason I clicked on this is because it was a nice cleavage shot. And then she's gonna throw some shit at me. Now I feel bad, but then I'm like, oh, it worked for her. I'm like, man. So I tried throwing my booty out there.
Mm-hmm.
You do got
sometimes you gotta throw your booty out there.
Old glutes.
I don't do it anymore though because Seth trains in here now. So I'm like, when you don't have the best booty,
the day we can get Seth to do that.
That's like I'll be doing that pose and Seth walks in and I'm like, oh shit.
So
glute envy is
real amongst men too.
My daughter gives me shit because of my butt. Because her friends. Yep. Any of your little friends are watching, Bella. She's like, Dad, stop walking like that. I'm like, I can't stop walking like that. My ass is huge.
I'm not looking at your butt. I'm looking at your glute activation, the posterior chain involvement. Here we go.
Did you learn that in your RPR treatment from last year? Walk with your big toe and your glutes, nice and tall.
It was a nice reminder, but I mean, going back to like bodybuilding type shit, that's how I always did calf raises when I first started. It was really driving, extending through the big toe anyways to get that calf activation. So
what would you do if you didn't have a big toe?
What would I do?
Yeah.
I wouldn't push off of it.
Stuff way less effectively. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
I mean, I think I'd still walk.
Big toe's pretty
It would take
crucial.
a while. It would take a while, but wait, are we taking the knuckle out? Like, how far are you going down?
We can leave the knuckle.
I think you do. Wasn't there a kicker that like was missing his toes? NFL kicker. Pretty sure held the record for a while or something like that.
I'd get rid of them all.
It kind
if I
of
was a
seems like
kicker
he's
then.
cheating. He's kind of bionic.
Club foot and
you
shit.
know?
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting.
I forgot what we were talking about.
I think we're just kind of
Off on our randomness.
because I think we've addressed kind of our point today, right?
Yeah, put the fucking cookie down.
Put the cookie down.
Put the cookie down.
now!
I mean, seriously, put it down. It's enough, and we got to make the change. And that's right now. Should have been yesterday, but
Should have been about 50 years ago.
you know, those cookies, they'll get you.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it says healthy cookie, no.
Oh, hey, guess what, guys? Too, we're entering into that season too. Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas.
Thanksgiving's the one that gets me.
It's all
It's
sweet treats
it's
from here
one
on
big
out.
one big party.
Mm-hmm. Bulk of the
So-
season.
So be careful out there. Stay away from that bullshit.
Which I'm sure that we'll have some fun topics that we'll come up with during that time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, next week we got Jason coming on, right?
Yes, sir. We've got Jason Steinberg.
Woo!
There it is.
Woo!
Gonna hear some of that. 605 Ninja Academy. So
Should be fun.
He's gonna, I don't know what we're gonna be talking about, but it's gonna be
we're gonna bring
exciting.
the energy.
Yeah,
We
he's
better,
gonna have
better all
Well-
drink a bang or two.
So we
Just
all
to
better
catch-
bang. Is that
No.
I was gonna say bang up, but I was like, I better not even finish that sentence around Nick.
But
right
yeah,
now,
let's
so.
we'll get some caffeine. into
we'll
Yeah,
have
this.
to get back up to Jason's level because
Yeah.
he's
Tell him
gonna
to
bring it.
some extra sparks for us or something.
Yep.
So that'll be next week. What else is going on? Anything else going on at the gym? I think we're gonna have a group. What should we call it? A mega group workout.
The super group.
The super group.
Super group or what?
Halloween edition coming up
Yep.
there.
Ooh, yeah.
So
That's
that's
gonna
gonna
be
be
awesome.
dress up. We should maybe do something.
Son of a bitch. If I'm the only one that shows up dressed
Then
up,
you-
Hold on,
Oh,
man.
no
I'm
way.
thinking, I'm
Pissed
thinking what
off.
we should do is best costume gets like a free month of group training or something like that.
That works.
You don't have to be a member at the gym. Come do your first class for free, and if you're wearing an awesome costume,
Yeah,
Free
super
month.
group.
yeah. So whoever we're gonna put,
Last time we did it, it was an awesome time, good experience,
good
ton of
energy.
energy, and I only expect it to just continue. Like again, raise the bar every single time we
Yeah,
do it.
you
So
have to bring it.
I mean, there's probably gonna be some holes in the walls. I don't even know. Nick's gonna have to get some plaster. It's gonna get wild. So
I have some. Don't make me patch it.
So I guess we could open up the 10-lap challenge at that time. To anybody wants to do. I had a couple people do it yesterday.
Mhm.
It was
Horrible.
horrible. 10 laps. What is it?
340.
57 feet per lap.
I think it's
Or no, I'm sorry. It would be
about 350 meters total.
350 meters.
So almost a full lap around a
All
track,
out sprint.
It's horrible.
It sucks.
but
tunnel
just
vision.
back and forth, back and forth.
Speaking of social media, I got a video of you in tights, no shirt on, doing that.
Oh, booty.
Expect to see
booty
that on
popping.
social media, slow mo.
Yeah. Wait till I actually get it.
You
I gotta take it
You gotta
again.
keep the pigtails in then.
Yeah. All right. I won't do it today though. I'm still pretty. My butt. I swear. Split squats. I'll get you.
All up in the butt.
Yeah, you want to grow your butt? Split squats.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to do split squats, come to Primal. We all. we'll show
I'll
you how.
ya.
PrimalSFSD.com. Check out our group class schedule that I got to update still. Haven't done that yet. I'm going to do that soon, promise. Social media, where they find you at.
Travis Klinghagen. That's Instagram.
Ryder311 on Instagram, I think.
Dennis.Timmerman on Instagram. House of Timmerman podcast on Instagram.
You ask me every time, and I fucking have no idea.
So if you guys are liking these podcasts, click the like button, subscribe to the channel and all that stuff. Get notified when we put up videos, because it's kind of, it'll be this week. Hopefully it'll be today or tomorrow, but it might be Wednesday. Shit happens sometimes.
That's
Yeah.
all you, man.
And
So
give us
let's
some
go.
feedback and
Give us some feedback. Comment below.
anything you want to hear about, we'll do our best to address, unless it sucks. then we won't.
But
And we're gonna try to bring.
we need some haters.
We're not doing our job if we don't have any haters.
What the hell?
So if you guys got some shit talking to do, bring it our way. Come on.
I'm sensitive.
Hey, Nick really likes online argument, so argue with him on Facebook.
Just
His favorite.
It literally is.
That's his favorite way to spend a mid-morning, about 4 hours of typing.
Just back and
Just-
forth. The best part is, like, I don't think people realize I put, like, 5 seconds into a thought. Read it, respond back, and go do it.
Even doing that, it takes so much fucking time to do that.
Oh, it does, yeah.
I don't know how people find time for this. All right, anything else?
That's all.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.
See ya.
Fucking Cy smoked that thing.
Yes, sir.
Blew up.